from the creator of the gripping tale of U.S. versus imports, size matters, and the epic journey of how the pot you use affects your tone, along with other how-to and gear-type cinematic treasures, now brings you some basic information.
Hey, welcome to the Perfect Setup Guitar Bass. I'm going to quickly explain how to wire up your volume and tone pots, and how the way the pot wiring affects the outcome. Please watch my How the Pot You Use Affects Your Tone video. It is a prep video for this video. First off, let me start out by saying that I'll be calling the negative wire a start or ground wire, and I'll be calling the positive a finish or hot output. The only thing negative about that wire is the name that it was given. If anything, there is more positive about that wire than the positive wire. In the diagram, black is ground, red is hot input, and blue is hot output. There are two ways to wire a volume. The first way, the hot input wire goes into the outside lug. It's connected to one side of the resistive element. The hot output is the middle sweeper lug, and the ground is connected to the other side of the resistive element. This is called a dependent volume. With multiple volumes, each volume will affect the total output. Here the jack's hot is being shut off. The second way, the hot input goes into the middle sweeper lug. The output is the outside lug, and the other side of the lug is the ground. This way is called the independent volume because the pickup is being shut off. With multiple volumes, each volume can be shut off without affecting the whole output. The hot output can come directly from a pickup or a switch, where the pickup goes first. The hot output can either go to a jack or a switch or another pot if you want to have a master volume. With the master volume, the slave pot should be an independent volume. The master volume can be either way. The slave pot goes into the same lug as the other hot input. A switch controlling the on-off of the pots is necessary to keep the pickups separated. Some manufacturers will have an independent slave volume with a dependent master volume. The jack's hot is being sent to the ground. This closes the jack's circuit, keeping it separate. With an independent volume, the jack's hot is free to pick up interference if the volume is turned off with an unclosed circuit. There are four ways to wire a volume with a tone. The first two ways use a dependent volume. The third and fourth use an independent volume. Both types of volumes have either a tone output coming from the same lug as the hot input or the same lug as the hot output. Having the tone output coming off the same lug as the hot input is the equivalent of having the tone's hot come straight from the pickup. This keeps the tone separate from the volume, as it's turning down the tone from the pickup. This way it starts going dark, losing a lot of the highs quickly. That's why many people ask for treble bleeds. Having the tone coming out of the hot output smoothens how it darkens the pot. The output of the volume will affect how the tone pot reacts. Simply switch where the tone gets its hot from before opting for a treble bleed. It's easy, there's no math, and it costs nothing to do. This one's the darkest. I'm not too sure which one would be darker out of these two. This is the brightest with the most natural roll-off. There are four ways to wire a tone pot. The red dot is a capacitor. The first two ways are commonly used in Fender. The third way is the modern Gibson way, and the last way is vintage Gibson wiring. All four ways are electronically equal. Some people like to wrap the cap in foil to close it off in a Faraday's cage. The hot signal is partially open. Sometimes the hot output of the volume goes to the tone, and then the jack picks up the hot output from the tone pot. The capacitor can also be put at the ground of the jack. Have the capacitor run from the positive to the negative and be sure to cover the leads. I will put some of these combinations together in part 2 of this video, where I'll show some of the common Fender and Gibson wirings. I will explain some of the differences between modern and vintage setups. If you do not understand some of what I was talking about in this video, watch my How the Pot You Use Affects Your Tone video. Then you can watch this video again. But before you do that, like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. I encourage all comments, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for watching TPSG&B, the perfect setup guitar and bass. Cheers.